this time, good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call to order the North Canton City Council meeting, March 22nd, 2021, 7 p.m. is the time. Mark, Dominic, would you like to lead us in prayer?
Sure, I'll be glad to.
Okay.
Lord, put our feet on humble ground. As we begin our decision-making session, remind us that we are all your children. Help us define our values and formulate our decisions. Help us to understand our neighbors and our community. Help us to create a strong and healthy community. Give each person clarity of mind, courage, creativity, compassion, due diligence, integrity, and a sense of humor. Give us listening ears and thoughtful words. Give us presence of mind and an open heart. Continue to keep us all healthy and strong. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right, if you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this time, Ben, would you please call the roll?
Member Peters?
Here.
Member Stroya?
Here.
Member Fonte?
Here.
Member Revolt?
Here.
Member Sreda?
Here.
Member Foltz?
Here.
And Member Waring?
Here.
7 present.
All right, thank you, Ben. All right, this time for your consideration, I need a motion and a second to approve as presented. Minutes from March 1st, 21, public hearing on 309 Lindy Lane. Minutes from March 1st, 21, Committee of the Whole. Minutes from March 5th, 21, Special City Council. And finally, minutes from March 8th, 21, City Council.
Foltz motions to approve as presented.
Revolt second.
All right.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, at this time, Ben, do we have anyone speaking tonight?
We do not.
We do not. Okay. All right, very good. Well, moving on then to old business. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only, Ordinance 7-21?
Revolt moves.
Foltz seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion
Sreda
carries.
abstain.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sreda abstains. Passes 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance authorizing the appropriation of funds of the City of North Canton to be appropriated for current expenses during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021.
All right, thank you. Chairwoman Ware.
I have
We've
a
talked about,
Real quick, it's Dom. I abstained. I had mute on that
Oh,
reading.
I'm sorry. Let the record
Yeah.
reflect that members Sreda and Fonte abstained. Motion passed 5-0. All right, Chairwoman Ware.
sure. We've been talking about this, and the first 2 items were the Arrowhead carpeting and civil service training. And then I believe on the last one, we added a donation, and that was to pay for first aid kits. And so if there aren't any other questions, I move to adopt.
Revolt seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Sreda abstains.
Fonte abstains.
All right. Motion passes 5-0. All right, thank you. Moving on. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only, Ordinance 3-21?
Revolt moves.
Warren second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance amending the zoning map of the City of North Canton to reclassify 309 Lindy Lane Northwest, Stark County parcel number 9205115, as recommended by the Planning Commission in accordance with the amendment procedure set forth in Chapter 1181 of the Planning and Zoning Code, from park and institutional to one-family residential small R50 in order to bring the zoning districts map and pertinent parcels in line with the current uses, together with providing opportunities for future residents and businesses.
All right, thank you, Chairman Revolt.
Well, I think the short title says it all. There were no objections to this. I move we adopt the second reading of ordinance 3-21 if there are no questions.
Foltz seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 2-21?
Revolt moves.
Shredder seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains. Passes 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance repealing and replacing Part 17 Housing Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton.
All right, thank you. Chairman Revolt.
Okay, this short title does not say it all. This is for those who are listening in, this is the second reading of our new property maintenance code for both residential and commercial buildings. All right, do we have any questions from those permitted to vote? If not, I move we adopt the second reading of ordinance 2-21.
Both seconds.
Seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Member Fonte abstains. Passed to 6-0. Okay, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 11-21?
Revolt moves.
Shredder seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An
Fonte
ordinance
abstains.
establishing the Department of Development Services for the City of North Canton.
Okay, before I go to you, Daryl, let the record reflect. Member Fonte, you abstained on this one, so the motion passed 6-0. All right, Chairman Revolt.
Thank you. 7D, 7E, and 7F lay out the administrative structure and the manner of operation for ordinance 2-21. As we have discussed this previously, most importantly, I guess, will be 12-21 that creates the maintenance review board for issues that may arise regarding the implementation of the code. But these three essentially are the practical tools for the implementation of the maintenance code.
Okay.
I don't know if the administration has anything to add.
We do not.
Very good. Then I move we adopt, if there are no questions, I move we adopt the second reading of ordinance 11-21.
Destroyer seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Abstain, Fonte.
Fonte abstains. Passes 6-0. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 12-21?
Revolt moves.
Shredder seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains. Passes 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance establishing the Property Maintenance Review Board for the City of North Canton.
Okay, like Daryl said, he already explained, so I'll entertain a motion and a second to adopt the second reading.
So moved.
Shredder seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains. Passes 6-0. All right, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 13-21?
Revolt moves.
Shredder seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Fonte
Opposed?
abstains.
Fonte abstains. Passes 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance amending certain sections of Chapter 139, Department of Engineering, of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton in order to remove the Division of Permits and Inspections.
Okay. Need a motion and a second to adopt the second reading?
Revolt moves.
Both seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains. Passes 6-0. All right, moving on. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 14-21?
Revolt moves.
Shredder seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains. Passes 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance repealing certain sections of Chapter 505, Animals and Fowl, of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton.
All right, thank you. Daryl, am I going to keep running through this, or did you want to?
No, let me sum these up as we did earlier.
Okay.
7G through 7L are essentially housekeeping, removing existing ordinances and chapters into the building maintenance code. The language has been updated. It doesn't change substantively. There may be a little modernization with that language, but by and large, the changes are true to the spirit of the original.
I'd like to
So I
point
move
out,
we adopt- Pardon?
I'd like to point out 7G covers animals and fowl.
That is true.
Yeah,
Couldn't help yourself, could you, Matt?
I couldn't, sir.
Let's just not go there. I think we've read it, and I'm going to move that we adopt second reading of ordinance 14-21.
Bolt
Sorry,
second.
seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains, passes 6-0. All right, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 15-21.
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains, motion carries 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance repealing Chapter 519 graffiti of the codified ordinances of the city of North Canton.
All right, may I have a motion and a second to adopt the second reading.
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains, passes 6-0. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 16-21.
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains, passes 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance repealing portions of Chapter 521, Health, Safety, and Sanitation of the codified ordinances of the city of North Canton.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the second reading?
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstain.
Fonte abstains, passes 6-0. Okay, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 17-21.
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains. Motion passes 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance repealing Chapter 553, Weeds, Trees, and Grass of the codified ordinances of the city of North Canton.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the second reading of ordinance 17-21?
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains. Motion carries 6-0. All right, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 18-21?
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Fonte abstains.
Fonte abstains. Motion carries 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance amending Chapter 719, Rubbish Haulers of the codified ordinances of the city of North Canton to include provisions formerly codified in Chapter 521.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the second reading ordinance 18-21?
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstain.
Fonte abstains. Motion carries 6-0. All right, moving on. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 19-21?
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstain.
Fonte abstains. Motion carries 6-0. Ben?
An ordinance amending Chapter 907, Street Excavations of the codified ordinances of the city of North Canton to include provisions formerly codified in Chapter 521.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the second reading ordinance 19-21?
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Fonte abstain.
Fonte abstains. Motion carries 6-0. All right, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 22-21?
Revolt moves.
Troy seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Canton, upon Board of Control approval, to enter into a contract for the installation of a vehicle exhaust venting system at North Canton's fire stations at a cost not to exceed $110,000.
All right, we've talked extensively about this. If there's nothing more to add, I'll entertain a motion as second to, well, first of all,
We have to amend it to
Yeah.
add an emergency clause.
yep, that is right, Ben, Pat. I need a motion as second to amend ordinance 22-21 to include the emergency clause.
Revolt moves that an emergency clause be added to ordinance number 22-21.
Both seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Now, may I have a motion and a second to adopt the second reading of ordinance 22-21 as amended?
Revolt moves.
Both seconds.
All right.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings for ordinance 22-21?
Revolt moves.
Soretta seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 22-21 under suspension.
Revolt moves.
Soretta seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, thank you, Pat. All right, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 23-21?
Revolt moves.
Both seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance amending Part 9, Streets, Utilities, and Public Service, Title 3, Utilities, of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, specifically Chapter 927, Sewer Rentals, Chapter 937, Water Rates, and Chapter 939, Special Water and Sewer Rates for Elderly and Disabled, to set water and sewer rates through 2026.
All right, thank you. Chairman Soretta.
Yes, this has a lot of several moving parts, I guess you want to call it. 21% increase in water rates over 5 years, increase in sewer rates, elimination of the $100 turn back on fee for delinquent water bill customers, and an increase from 5 to 10% for late fees for everyone. So there's a lot of things here. We had a riveting discussion on this several weeks ago. I respectfully made my concerns clear. And as water chairman, I know we have great water. We wouldn't have it any other way. This will increase most of the community's annual bill by $300 in the 5th year. So I respectfully feel this is too much, but I know that based on our discussion a couple of weeks ago, the rest of the council does not have those same concerns. So I will open it up for a motion to approve.
Revolt
Both
moves.
motion. Both seconds.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Soretta opposes.
All right, Soretta opposes. Motion carries 6-1. Okay, moving on to new business. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 25-21?
Revolt moves.
Both seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance amending Chapter 953 Municipal Swimming Pool of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton, specifically Section 953.02 Daily Rate, to adjust weekend rates for Dogwood Swimming Pool.
All right, thank you. Chairman Foltz.
Yes, as we discussed, the only change to our rate structure overall is just to increase the Saturday or Sunday $3 from $11 to $14. And as we indicated, if you are a family that lives in the city, your family membership is $216. If you would buy one of those, obviously, you know, a couple would cost $28 to go in. You might have somebody under 6 to be able to come in with you. But a single membership or family membership, excuse me, includes dependent children in the same household. So where you could be paying, say you have children that are 10 or 12 years old that wouldn't meet the under 6 threshold, you'd be paying $56 to come in with a family of 4, where for a membership of 216, that's 4 times using the pool on the weekend. So we're not increasing the availability of our residents to enjoy the pool at a deep discount if they buy a membership. So with that said, is there any other questions on the floor about it?
Hey, Doug, this is Daryl.
Yeah.
I just did some quick math last week, and, for a family membership of 216,
Right.
if you assume there are 16 weeks in the summer, okay, divide 216 by 16, that's $13.50 for an entire family if you use it once a week.
Right.
That's a pretty good deal.
Daryl, that's
$13.50 for an entire family.
Yeah, that's another great way to put it. We're not harming our residents. They like the pool, which we all did. When my kids were younger, we had the memberships. That's what you do. It's really the outside users or the infrequent users are going to have to pay more than for
Yep.
So that's the way it. All right.
Yep.
With that, I'll make a motion to approve first reading.
The vote will second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, may I have a motion and a second to read by title only ordinance 3-21.
The vote moves.
24-21.
Well, I'm sorry, what did I, 24, my apologies.
The vote moves on 24-21 to read.
Full seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of economic development revenue notes of the city under Section 13, Article 8 of the Ohio Constitution and Chapter 165 of the Ohio Revised Code to pay costs of a project as defined in Section 165.01 of the Ohio Revised Code for the purpose of creating or preserving jobs and employment opportunities and improving the economic welfare of the city and its residents and the state of Ohio, providing for the pledge for that purpose of certain non-tax revenues, establishing certain funds of the city, approving related documents, and declaring an emergency.
All right, thank you. Chairwoman Warren.
She on mute?
Yeah, I think she's on mute.
Sorry about that.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that. We talked about this last week with Gina, and this was we had a really good conversation. I think Pat, you weighed in as well regarding the monies we had borrowed and kind of the time frame of when possibly we're able to sell some of the other properties, and the rate that it's at, and what kind of bonds we have to take out. So if there aren't any other questions, I move to go to a second reading. And actually, this is under emergency, so we'll have to get it done tonight. Sorry about that.
Revolt seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings for ordinance 24-21.
Revolt moves.
Where in second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 24-21 under suspension.
Revolt moves.
Where in second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, department reports. Deputy Director of Administration.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to remind everybody about the successful home and garden show we had out at Arrowhead. That was actually yesterday. It's posted, some pictures are posted on the Arrowhead Facebook page if you want to see, but it was a wonderful show, very successful with a multitude of vendors from roofing to siding and landscaping. We had great attendance at the event, many positive comments. I saw the mayor and Mrs. Wilder, as well as Councilman Soretta and Mrs. Soretta, and many other community members. It was attended from people from our area, from Plain Township, Lake, Jackson, lots of positive comments. Like I said, the upgrading, which has been done out there to Arrowhead in the clubhouse, got to give a big shout out to our administrative specialist, Kelly Hart, who worked alongside the event planner for Arrowhead, Deanna Townsend. They did a fabulous job of pulling the decor together. And it's just amazing what a fresh coat of paint can do. It's a total new color scheme out there, along with the new carpet, which replaced the old, very worn stained carpet. And this time we replaced it a little more smart, installing carpet squares. So in the future, if there happens to be any sort of damage or stain at an event, then that carpet can easily be pulled up and that square removed. So really thinking forward there. It's a beautiful event space now that we'll be proud of in our community for bridal events and reunions and parties. So I highly recommend everybody get out there and see it for yourself. Golfers are out in full force. Clubhouse Grill's now open 7 days a week, 9 to 4. I had some food out there. It was delicious. And you'll also notice when you get out there, a lot of changes in and around the pool area. It's very cleaned up with the landscaping, and put in a new pathway, a new safer pathway that replaced the upheaved bricks that were there. So a lot of changes out there at Arrowhead, and just highly recommend everybody getting out and taking a look. And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. Director of Administration, Patrick.
Are we adding something under the final call for new business? I was expecting another ordinance on the agenda here.
Yes, we are. That's going to be under final call.
Very good. I will spare us any more of my words. I have no report.
Okay.
I'll motion that.
All right, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, good evening, President Peters, members of council. Thank you for this opportunity to just share a couple of things. I just got this in from the Canton-Akron Airport. Just wanted to keep you up, give you a brief update where they stand with Jobs Ohio Air Service Incentive Program. As we are a part of supporting this, their pledges now total $1,002,500. And Renato Camacho, the president and CEO, is thanking us and everyone else who is supporting this. And I just wanted to bring you up to date on that. And they're very close to being able to contract air service opportunities, new ones. So just wanted to keep council up to date on that because we are part of that support. Last week or so, I was contacted by Vantage Aging in regards to Meals on Wheels. And Friday, I had an opportunity to go out and I toured the Meals on Wheels facility in Massillon. And I wanted to learn more about their services for North Canton and Greater Stark County and Northeast Ohio. And if you're not aware, in North Canton, over 110 meals are delivered to seniors and especially those individuals at risk of experiencing hunger. And the Meals on Wheels team provided a warm and welcoming introduction and informative tour of the facility for me. And also Brooke Harless, trustee from Plain Township. We were the only two elected officials in Stark County that went over to visit their site. This organization has very much to be proud of. And I was most certainly appreciated their openness regarding the good work that they're doing and performing their services for Greater Stark County, Northeast Ohio, and especially here in North Canton. I can only say that their team's willingness to care for others in need of nutritional support, and that those in need are dearly respected and feel a sense of belonging through the love of the employees and the volunteers that they bring to their doorstep every day. This organization certainly knows how to help people in our community to care for one another. Therefore, what I did was I presented a proclamation to them on March the 19th, and hereby proclaiming that March 21 as the 19th annual March for Meals Month, and urge every citizen to take this month to honor our Meals on Wheels programs and the seniors they serve and the volunteers who care for them. Our recognition of this and involvement in the National 2021 March for Meals hopefully will continue to enrich our community and help combat hunger, senior hunger, and isolation in America. Therefore, I presented that to them on the 19th of March, and they were very appreciative of that. Evidently, I'm the only public official that had the honor to present a proclamation to them that they've never received before. And just want to share that with you, that the opportunities that we have of this organization caring for our seniors is, I think, sometimes goes quite unnoticed. So those are my comments for tonight. Thank you for the privilege to be a part of the council meeting tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, Director of Finance, Gina.
Thank you. I have no report, but I do want to just make a comment to the public tonight. The IRS, as I understand it, has extended the income tax filing deadline from April 15th to May 17th. That does not affect municipal income taxes as we follow Ohio Revised Code. So if the state of Ohio delays their filing deadline, then the city would follow that. But currently the city's deadline is April 15th. That's all I had for tonight.
We better make that known because a lot of people may get that confused.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was going to ask that question. Have you heard? Has anyone heard anything? Is the state thinking of following suit on this, or?
They almost always do, but they haven't announced it yet.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you, Gina.
Mhm.
All right, engineer Rob.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening unless there's any questions or comments or concerns.
Anyone got anything for Rob?
Well, Rob, I think Matt and I both were contacted by the Little League about possibly looking at that area where you go from the one parking lot to the other and how muddy it gets. You might want to get out there and take a look and maybe get some gravel in there or something. So, because we did shut down the entryway from Easton or East Maple, I should say, to get to that overflow parking area there. So if you could take a look at that and what that best situation that could be so you're not in the mud there when you go from one parking lot to the overflow one. Does that make sense, Rob? Okay.
Yep, absolutely. We'll take a look at that. I know the contractor still has some of his materials stored there, but he'll be back in the next week or so to finish up. This is landscaping touch-ups, and then we'll touch that up. And you are correct. We did make the decision to close that drive apron. It was to the old home there.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rob. All right, Council Clerk Ben.
I have no report this evening.
All right, thank you, sir. On to council reports. Member Foltz.
No report.
All right, Member Warren.
No report.
Member Fonte.
No report.
Member Revolt.
No report.
Member Soretta.
No report.
Matt, you got to have something to say, I'm sure.
All right, I'm going to end the streak here. Definitely. I want to thank the mayor for continuing his weekly address for that. I think that's very important that you do that, and I much appreciate it. I think a lot of other people do as well. And then, I just want to again point out the massive amount of legislation that's being approved and the depth that it's going, and very appreciative of Daryl and administration and everybody involved in that. So thank you. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Okay. For final call for new business, I'm going to turn it over to Chairman Revolt, Community Economic Development. The floor is yours.
Yes, we have ordinance 26-21. It should be on the screen for everyone right now. What we're proposing to do with this ordinance on the advice of legal counsel, this would be both Krugliak and Squires, to transfer a parcel that we own. This is the Deer Park.
That we are going to own.
We're going to own. Thank you, Patrick. We're going to own. We're going to transfer this to the Community Improvement Corporation. And that is how, under law, we can facilitate its development. Mr. Diorio, does that summarize what we need to do?
Yes, it does.
Are there any questions? And let me just take a step back again. I want to emphasize again that this is something new for us because we're new to the economic development realm. And again, it comes at the recommendation of our in-house counsel and our bond counsel as well. Correct, Mr.
That is
Bureau?
correct.
Do we have any questions? If not, I think what we need to do is we've added this to the agenda. You'd like to adopt this evening, correct, Mr. Diorio?
But we need to adopt it and pass it on an emergency as we are looking to close on this property.
Okay. Can you go back up to the short title for me, Ben? Can you scroll up
Yeah.
just a little bit? Okay, do we have an emergency? Yes, we do. Okay. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to propose first of all is this, I think we need a vote to suspend the committee report. Do we not, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, we need a vote to suspend council rule number 24.
I make that motion.
Hold seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now, I make a motion that we read by title only, first reading, ordinance number 26-21.
Try a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Canton through the Board of Control to enter into an agreement for the purchase of real property located on North Main Street in the city of North Canton, Stark County, Ohio, permanent parcel number 100002584, at a cost not to exceed $850,000, and with such property to be assigned to the North Canton Community Improvement Corporation at closing, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Daryl, are we ready to adopt the second reading?
We're ready to drop the first reading, actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What did I say? First reading.
Yes. I make that motion that we adopt the first reading.
All right.
Try a seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings.
Revolt moves.
Try a second.
Where second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 26-21 under suspension.
Revolt moves.
Where second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, just to real quick go over the upcoming meeting calendar for April. April 5th will be regular council meeting. April 12th will be the committee of the whole. April 19th, regular council, and then back to committee on April 26th.
I'm so sorry. I have those wrong on the agenda.
Oh,
They are backwards, but I have them right on screen.
April 5th.
April.
What did I said?
There we
Committee.
go. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I apologize for that.
Yep. No worries, Ben. All right. So April
No
5th,
problem.
committee followed by city council committee. Okay, perfect.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
in just kind of going through things here and talking with my staff, I think there was an item that we inadvertently left out, and I guess we're going to have to come back to do a meeting. And part of this is because this is a new process that we are following as well. But as it relates to the Dogwood Park expansion project, so council, has I believe we've previously authorized us to go out and advertise and start the process to get a construction manager at risk. And we've done that. And we've had interviews, we've had followed a whole process of RFPs and RFQs pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, following their rules. We've never done this before. We like it. We think we're a little bit late to the party. This process has been around for about 10 years. We've just never done it here. The schools do this extensively. But we're at the point where we've completed that process, and the Board of Control would need to enter into an agreement with a recommended candidate out of the 3 that applied for this or tried to get this. So I'm thinking that I thought that I had sent over a request to get this on council's agenda. I may have, I may not have. It may have slipped through on our end. We're going to have to look into it. But if I'm going to get this project off the ground, I need to get the CMR in place as quickly as possible, because it's their job then to go out and start soliciting bids for all the various pieces of this process, and then to value engineer it and come back to us with what this project's the final budget will be. We have architects' estimates and the like, but we actually need to get hard numbers now from people who are actually going to do the work. So that's my dilemma.
You want to do
Could
it
we
later?
have a meeting this week at like 5 o'clock?
We need a committee.
I don't know what the rules are here, if there has to be something, a separate meeting for it, if it's something that can be amended tonight. It's really just authorizing the Board of Control, authorizing the mayor through the Board of Control to enter into a construction management at risk agreement for the Dogwood Park expansion project.
Can I make a suggestion, Mr. DiOrio?
Yeah.
Let's not adjourn this meeting just yet. If we can, let's roll into our committee meeting. I would defer to our clerk as the parliamentarian, but let's just hold off. Let him draft something very quickly while we're walking through the zoning ordinance, and then come back. We'll amend the agenda, suspend the rules for committee report, and just give you that authorization. How does that sound?
That would be a game changer for us. I really would appreciate it.
Yeah, that sounds
If
good.
I may, if the president is willing, we could go back to call for additional new business, and I have already drafted this ordinance.
Well, there we go.
There you
Patrick did submit an agenda request, but it was for April 5th, which I coincidentally wrote today, and I'm glad I did.
I'm glad
Very
you
good.
did.
Well, this is all
Well-
coming together.
Well, Mr. Clerk, I move that we go back to, let's just go back to that business, Mr. President.
New business.
New
Second.
business.
I guess what we need here is a motion and a second to suspend Council Rule 24 to allow consideration for what will be Ordinance
27.
27.
-21.
Yes, Revolt will make that motion to suspend the council rule.
We're in second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Chairman Revolt.
Well, this is under Park and Rec, so I'm
Oh,
going
I'm sorry.
to.
I'm sorry.
Hold on a second. I'll give you my best Doug Foltz imitation. How does that sound?
Oh, let's hear it.
Hey,
Go
hey,
Browns.
Where's Dave Held when you need him?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna pass this you want to pass this on emergency then?
Yeah, Doug, we've been doing this since like December, going through, following the state Ohio Revised Code process on how you do a construction manager at risk. And there was an RFQ process that was completed.
Right.
Take the number of people that you take the top 3, then you ask them for a request for proposal, and that includes the pricing for their service, and then we interview those folks, and then we come up with a recommendation, and then that once we make that determination, then that's who goes out and starts doing the real heavy lifting, the legwork on this. So I need to get this done so that we can get going with it. Spring is upon us, and our goal was to have this project completed, this year, and we're still on track. But I appreciate council making this change now, because if we'd have waited to April 5th, I'm just afraid we may not have been able to complete it.
Pat, is there a fee structure involved with this, or we're just authorizing the Board of Control to award it?
And we're authorizing the Board of Control to award it. I mean, each of the entities, proposed their fee, and they're graded upon the qualifications is like 55% of their grade. 45% of their grade comes along their pricing component. And then the panel puts all the scores together, and then we rank them first, second, third. And then we go with the first one. And if we're able to structure an agreement, then that's who gets it. If we can't reach an agreement, then we go to the second one. And then if not, then to the third one. So we think that we're going to reach an agreement with certainly with someone. We think in the order that they would end up at, I would assume that because they've all expressed so much interest in the project and doing it, that I don't think we're going to have any trouble coming to a contract agreement. But everything is included in this at a cost not to exceed.
Yeah, that's the overall.
Yeah, so whatever their fee
Right.
is coming out of that.
That fee's yet to be determined until the Board of Control awards. That's just
Each one has a different formula. Each bidder put together a price structure based on their company's overhead.
okay. I'm letting it all sink in. It's not that I want to be favorable to this, to understand how this process works, so that we have any public comment, which we're not going to, obviously, because we're putting this on tonight without an opportunity to do so, that we get as much information out right now that we can.
Pat, the $1.8 million project, not to exceed, is it just a percentage of the project?
It's a percentage of a subset of the project. Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
Obviously, council's all for this project as I am. I think it's important to move it off center, give our Board of Control a latitude. I wish there was a better way to do it, to share more information. I guess that's my only hesitation, if there is one. But saying that, I'll make a motion to move forward with this.
Well, before someone seconds that, I would say to Councilman Fultz, I mean, when you think of it in terms of other things that council historically approves, let's say it's a street paving project. Council just authorizes the mayor through the board of authorized to advertise and receive bids through the mayor through the Board of Control to enter into a contract not to exceed X amount of dollars, and that's the only time it goes to city council. This is in essence doing the very same thing.
Yeah.
It's just instead of road services, it's park services.
Right. Well, Pat, that's a great parallel. It just, I'm wrapping my arms around it all, not hearing about till tonight that you needed it. So that's all. I just want to make sure that we're, I'm not saying we're not, but we need to be as transparent as we can, knowing that we're going to pass this on emergency tonight, or give the Board of Control the right to make a final decision, which I don't have a problem with that. It's just we're wrapping it all up in one evening here. That's, if there is a concern, that's it. But I understand.
As Stephanie had said, I mean, you can come back this week. That would be great. Board of Control is meeting Wednesday, I believe.
Well, we're here now. I say we do it now.
They're basically, everybody has to charge a fee for their services. That's the bottom line. And it's 3 bids, 3 competitive bids. We just picked the one that makes the best sense, that works best with administration or our group, right?
Right, Dom. I think we're all on that same page. Okay. I always want to err on the side of public comment. We can have it. But we've had this project out in the public for a number of months. We're all very favorable to it. And as Pat indicated, this is our way to move forward, so we get it done in a timely fashion this year. Then, like I said, I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 27-220.
Okay. Revolt will second that.
If I could clarify, we've already suspended Council Rule 24. The next motion I need is to read by title only ordinance 27-21.
Yes, Revolt will make that motion.
Volt seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Ben?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Canton, upon Board of Control approval, to enter into a construction manager at-risk agreement for the Dogwood Park Expansion and Improvement Project at a cost not to exceed $1.8 million and declaring the same to be an emergency.
All right, Patrick, I appreciate your explanation on that. If there's no other further questions, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the first reading.
One moment. I realized I have a portion missing down here in section 1.
Hold on 1 second.
So it should have said that the mayor, upon Board of Control approval, be and is hereby. The upon Board of Control was missing.
Okay,
My bad.
Duly noted.
very good. Okay, so do I have a motion and a second to adopt the first reading 2721?
Revolt moves.
Full seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. May I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring 3 readings for ordinance 27-21?
Revolt moves.
Both seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And finally, may I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 27-21 under suspension of the rules?
Revolt moves.
Both seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Ben, Patrick, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes this agenda. So motion to adjourn out of this agenda.
Revolt moves.
For the seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. We are adjourned from our regular council meeting. Now I'd like to call to order the Committee of the Whole meeting, March 22nd, 2021. The time is 7:53 p.m. Ben, would you please call the roll?
Member Warren,
Here.
Member Foltz,
Here.
Member Shreda,
Here.
Member Revolt,
Here.
Member Fonte,
Here.
Member Shroya,
Here.
and Member Peters.
Here.
7 present.
All right, thank you, Ben. All right, this meeting is you, Daryl. So I'll
Thank
let
you very much, Mr. President. Before we get started tonight, this is what I'd like to talk a little bit about the process. And what I'd like to do is where we're headed is to refer these items to the Planning Commission with council's authorization. I'd like to kind of move on a parallel process if we can. But we'll open the discussion tonight, send it to the Planning Commission, and then move toward final adoption a little later this year. Items A, B, and C, I think, are relatively self-explanatory. Item 3A is the long-awaited new zoning ordinance that the administration has sent over. I think it's important to understand kind of how we got here. And if you look at the title, we're calling this, the mayor is calling it actually, North Canton's second century. This is the zoning for the city's second century. And it came from the 2012 master plan. We took a look at, in 2020, we took a look at that review. And the administration has, over the last 24 plus months, been working on this with a professional zoning attorney. You'll note, and it's a little tough to read over here on the left, but there we go. Thanks, Ben. These are our overall goals. And I think these are based upon the conversations that this council has had over the years and was reflected also in the master plan. We want a vibrant commercial Main Street. It's the city's economic spine. We want to encourage pedestrians. We want it to be highly walkable. We want to encourage capital investment. And that's not only for the city, but for the schools. And we want job density. And we're going to focus in part on multiple or mixed uses for the parcels that we have available. We've listened carefully to our resident realtor. We want to attract young professionals and families. We want them to make their home here. And most importantly, I think is equally important is we want to create a cohesive Main Street aesthetic. And this particular document does those things. Ben, you got another slide for me?
Yes.
Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing is considering the creation of 5 new zoning districts that are on Main Street, and they're contained in the document. We're going to repeal the existing Main Street Business District, and we're going to adopt a new map for those regulations. Do we have another slide, Ben? I think we Yeah, okay. But before we go on, I want to just take a step back if I can. And we've talked a little bit about the 2012 master plan and discussions around it. But I think there's a larger question that I'd like to place in the record. And that is, how did we get here? How did we get to this point? How did we get to 2012 and this particular document? It's important to understand that in North Canton became a city in 1962. In a period between 1960 and 1970, the city's population doubled. And in the mid 60s, the city, at the behest of the Hoover Company, began a process to modernize downtown. The community wanted a city that appeared modern. It wanted to be less New Berlin and more North Canton. The North Canton of the mid-1960s in its downtown had 2 drugstores, a movie theater, a hardware, a department store, a diner, restaurants, the post office, banks, and an old city hall that sat over on Portage Street right behind just north of or just south of the city hall parking lot. But by 1971, this was all gone. And pieces of that old North Canton in the subsequent years have disappeared. And I think the folks in 2012 and before realized that maybe we lost something when we took out the downtown. It just disappeared. And I think people realized that the town would have been far more interesting and the downtown more pleasant and enjoyable if we had some of that back. And that's the spirit behind this particular zoning ordinance. It captures all the things that we've talked about: families, downtown, locations, events, activities, walkability, etc. It's in this document. And so what I'd like to do tonight is take a look at these to see if we have any questions or comments now, and we'll take them in order. But the net out result is, Jeff, I think we're going to have to vote on each of these, just a quick voice vote to kick it over to the Planning Commission.
Okay.
So having said that, let's take a look at item 3A. That's the actual zoning ordinance itself. And it's got 2 parts here. We've got the conceptual part that Sean Suter, our legal counsel on this matter, prepared. And that's the graphic part. Shows the districts, the uses, street level uses, upper floors, accessories, etc. And then behind that in your packets is the actual codified ordinance. So we've got a beautiful graphic that tells the story, and then we've got the actual legal language that makes that happen. So do we have any, let's just open it up. Do we have any questions or comments?
Dom here. So this has been in the works for at least 2 years now. When we were originally, trying to figure out the MSB to activate that, and Patrick, after he dug into it, saw that, it was really a Band-Aid approach to what the real issue was. Yep. And after we dug into this and had several meetings over the course of time, it encompasses everything that we want to do with our limited footprint to create that spine, so to speak, and then the arteries off of that to make this that dynamic downtown that we're kind of yearning for. And I think what people really need, and it would be a win-win for the community. And I think now this completes the toolbox just about to create that economic development that we're looking for, to create that revenue stream and have a great place to work, live, and play. So, and walkability and parks and all those things are all the pieces of the puzzle coming together with the 5 new districts.
Yeah, Dominic, thank you. If I could just real quickly here, and Patrick, jump in, but this was This is Daryl. Go ahead. This simply hasn't dropped from the sky. The administration ran 2 focus groups on this, one with a small group of business folks, and then a second with the property owners themselves. So this has been reviewed by stakeholders in the community. And I want to make that sure that everybody understands that. We're not surprising anybody. Fair, is that a fair representation, Patrick?
Yeah, it started a couple years back, as you both have alluded to, and each piece of the puzzle that gets put into place is progressed it along and expanded. So we invited just some representatives of the business community in early on, get some feedback, pushed it forward, did a larger group of business holders, and then a town hall meeting, if you will, with the stakeholders of all the property owners up and down Main Street, where we laid all this out and took feedback, and then from there we went back to Marty Van Gundy's been a great help here, and Ben, and we've sat down together with our consultant and worked it through again, making sure we get all the bugs that we could find that might have been in it out till we brought it back here. So it's one of those things that doesn't happen quickly, but with perseverance and the right player personnel, we were able to bring it to the finish line.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other comments on this?
Daryl Soretta here.
Yes, sir.
And I've contacted Daryl, and I think this idea is a really great idea. I like this idea of kind of looking at different parts of our community and our Main Street. And I'm all for the aesthetics part of it, and I've gone through this tooth by tooth. I got marks all over this. I don't know how we can say this is all great, because there's a lot of things in here that I think need to be reviewed. Because I think a lot of it, my concern is, and again, I'm not against this, but my concern is that this is very controlling and limiting to the fact that, we're wanting to get businesses in. It's not like we got too many businesses in town here. And I get it. A lot of this is aesthetic things. But there are a lot of little things in here. And it seems like everything's pushed over to the planning commission. It seems like there's very subjective, a lot of this stuff that people want to do. And we've already been given this title, I don't want to deal with North Canton. And I think we're on our way to fix that. But is this taking us the other way on that? That's what my only concern about that. So there are some pieces of this. I like a lot of this. I think a lot of this is great, but there's several pieces of this that, when you look at the different areas and what you allow and you don't allow, I think I got a lot of questions, to be honest with you, because I think in one area there, it said about multi-unit, the center of town. Does that include the Hoover district? You can only allow 18 multi-families or whatever. There's so many little kind of interesting things here that I have a lot of questions about. Parking spaces.
In regards to that one specifically, so you're talking about density. And, there is a density for each of the 5 districts.
Yeah.
Density, this only applies to Main Street and the districts. So zoning on Apple Grove is not affected, or zoning on West Maple is not East Maple is not affected by what we're doing here. This is only dealing with the spine. But as far as the density goes, what we're saying in the center of town, which is Main Street Central, and the Hoover district is a part of that, we're saying 18 units per acre is the limit.
So does that mean
that's a lot of units?
18 units. Well, we got 144 of them at the Hoover district. Is that off of Main Street, or is that off of East Maple?
Well, use the one up at the corner of Apple Grove, that as an example, because that's what's it called, Pine Ridge, or Northridge. That's an example of what he's talking about. How many acres are there? Go ahead, Pat, cover that.
Northridge is the present zoning on Northridge allows for 12 units per acre. So those were built in compliance with our existing zoning code. So you can see the size of the buildings up there that you're allowed to have with 12 units per acre. They're big. And so, as it relates to, you can see the map there, the Main Street Central. And, the residential on that is in the West Factory area, not, way back in the rest of that district in the industrial.
Mm-hmm. But my question again was like the Hoover district. It has only 18. Is that, we've got a lot of units in that place. Is this going to kind of affect that?
This was designed, well, let's put it this way. The zoning that they're working off of now, Mark, says it's 12 units per acre, and it's all
is that
fine.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Mark,
Okay.
those were supposed to be, oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Well, these are the questions. That's why we're having them answered.
Mark, let me respond to your question on this.
Yeah.
Our purpose tonight is to kick this to the Planning Commission so it can start reviewing this as well.
Okay.
We need to bring this back to your point and begin to look at this on the specifics. And we should set a meeting, defer to Jeff on this, on when he wants to stick it on an agenda, and we can begin to work through this. And what I might suggest we do is take it in pieces and just kind of walk through it over a couple of meetings. And
I'm good with that, because I got a lot of notes here, things about fences, things about the aesthetics, things about parking, I think we had talked about increasing the size of parking spaces, and these ones keep them at the same that they are now. There's been a lot of little things over the time that these seem to have, I've made notations on. So yeah, if you want to have something kicked back to us after the planning, I'd be glad to talk about that.
Again,
this does not change, there is a change in the parking. It doesn't keep it the same. Presently, we're a 10-foot by 20-foot parking spot.
Right.
And we were proposing in here a 9-foot by 18-foot parking spot.
Yeah. Is that going the wrong way with all these big SUVs and everything, or is that going?
No, that's actually going the right way, because the bigger you make the parking lot, the less space you have on Main Street to put the building. And your lots aren't that big to start with.
Yeah.
And what you end up with is a place like Acme and Kmart and a whole bunch of other places that are massive parking lots for cars that aren't there anymore, because the zoning is, it's the wrong size as far as how big the lot is, the parking spaces, and then how many parking spaces we require. I mean, that was great when we were autos, that was so auto-centric back in the day. You drove everywhere to get somewhere, but now we're talking about, we want to make this walkable, and creating a parking lot, the size of, that you have at Acme is never full, never anybody in it.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of runoff then that has to be managed, stormwater, retention basins, it all figures into the development.
Yeah, well, that's just part of the little thing. There's so many little notes here, Pat. I don't mean to jump into just the parking thing, but I'll be good to send it on and bring it. I'd like to sit in some meetings about, things like fences. We want wrought iron fences. Well, this doesn't allow wrought iron fences. This allows only wood and other kind of. So that's just little tiny things. We don't have time to go through it here right now, but if they would take that back, they'll look at that, I'm sure. I'd love to talk about some of those.
Well, we'll tweak this thing to make sure that, I caught something last week when I was looking at it. I made a suggestion on second floor uses. So I think we're going to have an opportunity to do that. If you have specific questions and have some time, Mark, you might bang them out on a quick note so we're prepared and we've got it ready to go through at the next meeting. So that way we make sure we hit it. Anybody else have any questions or comments at this point?
Density is not going to be an issue for the Hoover. That sits on 88 acres. That's like 1,600 units or something like that. So that's not going to be an issue. But I do like what you're saying. You refer it to the Planning Committee, and then in the meantime, we can still pick this apart and also get the feedback from the public and the Planning Commission themselves when it's over there. So I really like that.
I agree, Matt.
I think this is a good start. We've been working on it a couple of years, and honestly, this was one of the big pieces that was missing. And of course, there's always going to be some adjustments, I think, after planning takes a look at it.
Right. Okay, does anybody else have anything to say on this? So if we can then, we'll schedule some work sessions. The clerk will take care of that for us, and we'll kind of go from there. So I guess what we need, Mr. President, is I'm going to make a motion that we refer item 3A to the Planning Commission.
Is there a second?
Do we have seconds?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, items B and C are primarily housekeeping. We've got to kind of repeal what we've got on the books for the business district regulations. We need to send that to the Planning Commission. I don't think we really need to discuss it. We're going to basically, it's what we're eliminating. Want to make sure the Planning Commission's in sync. Any questions or comments?
Nope.
I'll make a motion that we send item 3B to the Planning Commission.
Story seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries.
And the last item is the map. You got to have the map, as we know from previous experience. I don't want to scratch a wound here, but this is going to create the new map with the 5 districts and repeal what other map we have, and this will be it. So we'll send that to the Planning Commission as well. Any questions or comments about the map?
All right, was that a motion?
I will make that motion that we send the map to the Planning Commission.
For a second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Okay, let's go back to the future. I'm done.
Outstanding. All right, well, that completes our committee of the whole meeting. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Sure.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.